Good day and welcome to this second part of the series on transitions. Today the message is called inadequate. Probably the most common denominator throughout transitions is this feeling of inadequacy. I remember as a young father the joy of anticipation of our first baby, our first child, but then an absolute feeling of inadequacy as I held this floppy little baby right here and then attempted to bath it, look after it. Perhaps you know those feelings of inadequacy. If you're young, sometimes it's a new job. The environment feels hostile sometimes. You're not ready for it. Even though you've had equipping and training, sometimes it feels insufficient. Maybe you've been healthy for most of your life and suddenly you find yourself in a period of struggling with your health, or you've transitioned from 30, 40, 50 years of work and now you're in a season of retirement and you feel inadequate. As a mom, you have children, you have work, life, pressure, looking after a home, and you feel inadequate. And this can lead to loneliness and depression and deep struggle. So our friend Jeremiah, he was called by God to a new task, to be a prophet to Israel and also to the nations. And it was certainly a task that he felt very, very inadequate for. In fact, he had this to say about it when God called him. He said, "Ah, sovereign Lord, I am only a child, only a youth." So he feels absolutely inadequate for the task ahead. He feels like God is calling him to something that he wasn't made for, you're not equipped for, but yet, from God's perspective, this new calling, this transition is actually an opportunity to prove God faithful. And I wonder if we could start looking at our seasons of transition as opportunities to prove God faithful. Because what is God's response to Jeremiah? He says to him, "But the Lord said to me, do not say to me, I am only a child. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you. I will rescue you, says the Lord. I will be with you. You must go to everyone I send you and say whatever I command you." So here's this young kind of boy, young adult. And God is saying to him, I will equip you for what I am sending you into. I will equip you for that new job. I will equip you for that new season of health. I will equip you for that new struggle with mental illness. I will equip you for marriage, for work, for life, even though you feel desperately inadequate. We feel physically, emotionally, spiritually inadequate. And our feelings don't just come into a vacuum. It's real. Your lived reality, God understands. He made you. He sustains you. The very life that we have, the fact that I'm talking to you is evidence of God's Spirit, His work, His activity in our lives. So your lived reality of your inadequacy is real, but so is this pushback from God. You're saying I'm inadequate. God's saying, I will make you adequate. We see this in Jeremiah's life. He's not really keen to be this prophet. God says, I will give you the words to say. I will equip you. I will sustain you. Now, a New Testament guy who really struggled with this as well was Timothy. We know he was born in a Christian home. He should have had it all together. Just like some of us, we should know the Bible. We do know, but we still struggle with inadequacy. So this is what Paul the Apostle says to Timothy. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but rather He gave us a spirit of power, of love, and self-discipline, or a sound mind. Think about that as you go through this transition, as you live it. God has not given you a spirit of timidity, of fear, of anxiety, but rather of fearlessness, a spirit of power to equip you, and a sound mind, the self-discipline. These are His gifts to us, that we can prove Him faithful during this time of transition. Look forward to meeting you next time. God bless you. Stay steady and strong.